I'm happy because they were not, they didn't have appetite. They were not like strong eaters before, but now they eat and eat and eat. Every time I'm hungry, I say, yeah, you're bored. That's why.
Thank you for joining this. Thank you for joining this edition of. Thank you for joining this edition of the Parent on Teacher video series. My name is Charles Nwahiwe, and the question is, we have been at home for a couple of weeks now, for 2-3 months, and the question is, how has this affected our families? How has it affected especially the learning of our children, their education? And so we've been looking at this question, and today I'm going to continue on this series, and I have two people here with me to talk about this. I have Dr. Justin Gabriel. Dr. Justin Gabriel is a lecturer in the Rivers State University, and he lectures in the Department of Management, in the Faculty of Management Sciences, and he's a senior lecturer there. And apart from that, he also runs a consultancy outfit, Jamlek Management Consult. And he's here with me today. Dr. Justin, you are welcome to this discussion.
Thank you very much, Charles. It's my pleasure to be on this platform this evening.
All right, and here with us again is another parent, and I have with me Uju Uduma-Ikpa, and I've known Uju for quite a while, and she is multi-talented, she's in the government, and but she's also into graphics, and you can just say she's an all-round business person, and Uju, you're welcome to the discussion.
Thank you, Mr. Charles. It's my pleasure.
Yes, let's get rolling, and as much as possible, we try to keep the discussions brief for those who will see the video, so that they can be able to, run through the length of the video. And wherever you are, if you're seeing this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel and also click the notification bell so that you will always know when a new video is released. And if you're seeing it on other platforms, ensure you like the page so that you can always follow and know what is going on. Okay, now here we are. The question I want to throw to you is, how has it been at your end? Initially, in my family, the first week, the second week, it was like a holiday. I mean, everybody was feeling fine. We were good. But 1 month, 2 months, it's no longer fun, so to say. And, trying to juggle working from home, keeping the children busy so that they keep learning, so that they don't get rusty. It has been easy for me and my wife. And so the question I'm asking is, how has it been at your end? I'd like to get rolling with the lady in the house. Uju, how has it been at your end?
Thank you. It hasn't been easy. It hasn't been very easy. Like you said, the first week was very much like a holiday. We just slept and worked. Like for someone like me who was always going to work and having, sometimes late schedules, I found it like, oh, this is time to rest. So I used to like have late mornings, and the children too were having late mornings. We didn't know, we thought it was going to be like a 1 week experience or 2 weeks and we'll all be back to work. So we wanted to maximize the time and just, rest with it. And then after the second week, it was going on and on like that. So at some point, we started bringing out their books, or, we went to YouTube first of all. We started with exercises. We realized that everybody's just lying around and eating. So let's start with exercises. So we went on YouTube. There's this guy, PE with Joe. He's a British man. So we would follow him to do his aerobics every morning. And after that, children, they started getting very restless. So what next, mommy? So what's next, daddy? So we were always looking for things to do, and it really got out of hand. So one particular day I had to drive to their school. Luckily, the headmistress was there, so I just requested for books. Say, please give me something. Just give me books that they are, comfortable with as per school books. Let them have something. Read all the story books in the house. They've read everything. Apart from TV, I just wanted them to continue reading. So we got books for them from school, and they started reading school books. Then luckily, the school now started an online teaching. So that's what practically, guided everything. It was now easier for us to, structure them around the times for the school. But before, it was not easy. So especially and then food, the children are eating so much this period as well. So but I'm happy because they they didn't have appetites. They were not like strong eaters before, but now they eat and eat and eat. Every time I'm hungry, I say, yeah, you're bored. That's why.
Yeah, that's quite interesting. And yeah, because children are at home, definitely the rate of eating has increased. And I think it's actually the same thing with my own children. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. Every now and then, oh, we are hungry. Huh? Yeah, so I think that, yeah, boredom really creates the craving for food. And yeah, so that was quite good. I mean, going to look out for materials that they can, latch on to be able to sustain their learning.
Yeah.
Very beautiful out there. So let me come over to you, Dr. Justin. How has this been at your end? With the lockdown, staying at home, and trying to juggle everything at the same time. How has it been?
Yeah, it's not been very easy, but the storyline is similar with what Uju has said and what you also said about your own family. When the lockdown began, it was like a joke. It was like fun. Yeah, first, it created the opportunity for us to bond and then play with the children because my two elderly children, the two senior ones, were in boarding school. But when the crisis started, we had to rush them back home and they joined their sister at home. So first, it was a happy reunion. Having me at home, which was used to be unusual, my wife at home and all of them at home. We used the opportunity to bond and then play. But as time rode by, we were beginning to see that this thing is no longer a joking matter. It's not a thing of fun. It's not a laundry holiday. It's something more that we need to keep something going. So, but well, good enough. The school, where they are in boarding school. My first one is in JS3. They started WhatsApp classes. Shortly after, they moved into Google class. And that's been on. That has kept him busy. The younger brother too we have had it difficult enrolling his own Google class. It's going on, but each time we want to, we can't get through. I don't know what the problem is. So he has that problem. But my daughter, who is in a school in Port Harcourt here, they have also started WhatsApp classes. So that engages them. But the dramatic part of it is that they are not passionate about it. They are not passionate about it. They rather want to go to their cartoons and all of that, spend more of their time playing rather than sitting down to learn. So that's been the battle we have been fighting. You have to beg, you have to entice, you have to motivate for somebody to sit down. So it's a war. Every day, especially the last one, my daughter, you have to run around the house begging her, come and sit down and learn now. So because what I see is that the atmosphere is not the same for them.
Yes.
It will take a readjustment of their psychology to now know that they can actually learn at home. Home was only a place to do assignments once in a while, but not the learning place. So it's been difficult them adjusting themselves to learning. Like my daughter, when she's learning and I go too close to her or her mom to listen, and she'll say, no, give me space. I need my privacy. It's my class. And, so we just leave her to learn. Away from those, I also took another risk. I took another risk of having a pianist come to teach them some so we had to make sure he comes with his face mask. But I see it's at a risk, but I just felt this was an opportunity to do it. We had been trying to do it, but each time we don't get the opportunity, because before you know it, they're off in school and all of that. So the pianist also comes and engages them for some time. So when the pianist is not there, we cannot ask them, go and play your piano. And even at that, they also struggle. You also beg them and entice them to go and play. But what I see they like to do most is to watch television. There is this program they like watching, Emanuela Comedy. Every now and then they ask me to download Emanuela Comedy and watch. That is what has been going on. We actually, as parents, we have not been able to plan well, because we're always thinking that it will end. We haven't been able to make it an official program in the family that this is how you will do. So and so time you will wake up for the learn, you will do. We haven't been able to do that. All we have been doing is take it as it comes. When we also remember, go and learn. It is to watch program, watch. If it's to play. We have been doing it casually like that, because we also feel that it's an opportunity for them to rest a little. That's what has been going on with.
Yeah. Can I say something, please?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Uju. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, what he said is perfectly true. The children are finding it difficult to accept us as that authority figure that is allowed to teach them school work. I'm supposed to teach him how to tie his shoelace. For my daughter, I'm supposed to teach her how to maybe dress up and look good and all that. And maybe help out in homework, but to now take over the mantle of Mrs. Bates. Who are you now? So she may not speak out loud to tell me, Mommy, this is not your job. But in the reaction, I have seen that I'm no longer in the territory I belong to. I'm looking for trouble, basically. So when I say it's time for school, I get this. Wow, look. Everybody comes, they try to learn, they try their best to learn, but it's not the same for them. We as parents, especially Nigerian parents, we are not ready for the kind of school system that has been forced on us by this pandemic. Maybe people in the Western world have been having some e-learning, even if not completely, but parents were able to monitor their children's progress in school. I have a friend whose kids are in school abroad. So she monitors how they are doing. She was monitoring how they are doing in school back then. So it was never an issue for her this period to still continue from where she stopped before pandemic. For us, we're people who have shops in the market are also parents in schools. And now you're telling them to be doing Zoom class for some who have Zoom class, and you're telling them to do Google class. You're telling them to do WhatsApp, download, and then snap the assignment and send back to the teacher and submit. Some of them are snapping it on top of the gas. Some of them are snapping it. Some of them are snapping it along with things that you're supposed to keep it on something that will not come and expose the rags on things that are in your house. Nobody wants to see some of these things, but they don't know. This is not something we signed. We only signed up as parents. We didn't sign up as teacher. And all of a sudden, we are now teachers. And the children are finding it quite difficult to accept these strange teachers now that have been forced upon them. But I think what will make it easier, this is okay. I like the way they started with WhatsApp. I like the way they started with WhatsApp, so that they can easily start easing it into proper e-learning style that we can all. I hope they don't stop after the pandemic. Maybe over the weekend they can have 1 or 2 classes, so that we would know how these things are working. And then I don't know how they will make it easier for parents who are not computer savvy, because it's quite difficult for a lot of parents to cope We didn't sign up for this at all.
Yes, we did
Yeah.
not sign up for this. That is exactly how it is. I think that in my own situation, probably what helped in the transition was that last year I did a volunteer work in my children's school. I took them through a program called
Okay.
Scratch,
Okay.
so that
Yeah.
they can learn coding. And how the idea came about was I was trying to teach the children that in the house, just like you said, children not seeing you exactly as their teacher. So I went to their school and I told them that I can help out in this area of trying to teach the children coding and all of that. So the school accepted it. So me and my team from the office, every Friday, 1 hour, the school gave us 1 hour every Friday. We'll go there and we'll take the children within the age range we'll sign up for, take them through that program to be able to learn Scratch, for coding. But what really happened was that now that we're in the pandemic, so it was more like, okay, what we started last year, can we just continue from there? And so we now started the transition. I started looking for avenues, platforms where we could continue with that series. So I found Khan Academy for mathematics, and it really worked. Yeah, it has been working well. So
Yeah, I use them too.
yeah, so it also helps to ease off the pressure of trying to teach. Yeah, because the platform engages the child. So I think that like you rightly said, they don't see us as their teachers. Yeah, I mean, we're just their parents. But I think that it's been working. But what I've found out is that lately, after having done this for about 2 months, 3 months now, lately, there seems to be a kind of lethargy, tiredness, okay, in the morning, because we drew up a program in the morning. We get up, have our breakfast, probably by 9 or so, we enter the first session, which is usually mathematics, because I try to make mathematics the first session of the day. But I've discovered that these days, in recent times, everybody is so sluggish this time around, as if Daddy, just leave us alone. We're just tired. That kind of feeling.
There's no motivation.
Exactly. So, Dr. Justin, what do you think if this situation persists? Because actually we're going into June and nobody is actually sure of what's going to happen. If this situation persists, what do you think, that will be the fate of the children's learning while we are still in the house?
It's a very big problem. Just as big as the pandemic is, so the consequences that it has come with, especially with regards to this educational system. See, there was an issue Uju hinted briefly. You and I are talking about this possibly because by the grace of God, we can afford to have gadgets, we can afford to buy data. And then what about the millions of Nigerians who cannot afford these gadgets, who cannot afford data, who have not seen light in their neighborhood in the past 6 months, and who do not even own generators? And the majority of the people are in this category. How are they going to cope? That's the first side of the problem. Before now, UNICEF report has shown that 1 in every 5 of the world out of school population is a Nigerian. 1 in every 5 out of school population is a Nigerian. And again, 10.5 million Nigerians within the ages of 5 to 14 were out of school. Okay, these reports were there far before the pandemic. Now with the pandemic, what is going to happen? With those who can afford these facilities, it is quite tasking, it is quite challenging. We are even saying that, boasting like we did this, we did that, because because it is lockdown. We do not have much to do on our tables. By the time as the thing is progressing, activities are indirectly picking up. Government is removing their hands from control, and we're leaving this whole thing to personal discipline and self-management. When we get to that level, when we begin to get busy also, and then the children cannot get back to classroom. What happens? Who will stay with them at home and then guide them through these studies? This is a big issue. Like I've always seen or considered this online learning, they are not really, they have not been developed to push the children forward. They have been developed to keep them busy and occupied. Because we have common systems, common exams that children all write. The junior WAEC, the senior WAEC. So if your own child is having online lectures, where is he going to write his exam when the rest are not writing? So that means that there is stagnation. So we all just have to pray and ask that a way out should just come, that God just comes down and then let this whole thing just stop, or we find a way to just live with it and then let things return to the way it should be. Online learning for us here in this part of the world is not, we are not prepared for it. We're not prepared for it. The technology is not there. The psychology is not available with us. So it's not something we can use to grow. Unless government wakes up and takes things seriously to the point that we now have at least minimum hours of power availability in every nooks and cranny of the cities, that at least of the state and of the country, that at least, because I hear the politicians have always said that Nigerians now have regular light. I don't know which part of Nigeria really, but if we can just improve and be a little sincere, have regular light, and then what about parents with the gadgets? How many parents can afford phones that have the facility for internet? These are the issues. The problem is just enormous. It's enormous. Now, if parents even have, what about the children? How many children can use one phone? Of late, I have got to go and repair old phones to see how my children, each of them can have something to hold. I've not even been able to satisfy them. My daughter is still asking for her own. I say, use your brother's phone. He said, no, she needs her own. She's a person of her own, and she's right. So these are the challenges. If I am struggling like this too, what about the man in the village who does not have a monthly earning, who has nothing to do and has 12 children? So that means automatically those children are out of school. So you see, the schools that are even doing this online thing are the private schools, not just
there
are private school for the poor. There are private school for the average people. Now, the private school for the average and the top people are the ones who are trying these things. What about the private school for the poor? Those private schools that just scratch. And then I'm not even going to government school where the population is. Just the private school. So all the private schools are not even able to handle it. Now, when we now go to the government schools, that's where the big problem is. What do they have? The children who attend these schools, can their parents afford any of these? So what I think is that being that there is no end in sight of this pandemic, government should begin to gather experts to think, to ponder a way forward. What are the alternatives that can be used that are in the midst of this? We can still, the whole system will not be halted, but still have a way of students learning a little. Everybody, not everybody, not secluding some persons, carrying everybody along. And then these national exams, they also find a way to conduct them, and let's just make progress as we keep living with it. That's what I think government needs to do. It's a problem. We can't run away from it. We'll be facing it.
Yes, it is a problem that we cannot run away from. There is a challenge. And one thing that seems to be very clear from all that Dr. Justin has said is that government has a role to play. Yeah, with the history of the government we have, where we know that things take a very long time to happen. So it still behoves on us as the parents to keep thinking, what are the things that are within our scope that we can do? So I'd like to come to you, Uju, with the situation around us. What do you think the average parent can do? Because like Dr. Justin mentioned, government has a role to play. When that role will be played, nobody can really say, nobody can tell. It might take a long while, for this transition to happen. What do you think the average parent can do? Considering that with the changes that have, that are gradually coming, things may not remain the same after now. So what do you think?
Yeah, things may not remain the same after, things will not remain the same after now. Things have actually flipped on us, and it's good we're thinking. The question you asked is awesome, because at least we have accepted that it's possible that whatever the government may do, we may not even feel the impact at the levels we expect to feel them. So we should actually rise up and start thinking for ourselves, as we have always done. I mean, we buy our own petrol for our generators. We are digging boreholes. We're already a government. We're our own local government as it is. So I mean, we can also be school systems. So
Yeah.
we should embrace we should embrace what we have seen so far. Like what he was saying really touched me. It has always touched me. I always feel bad whenever I present these things for my kids to do, and my husband also does the same classes with them. I just sit back and I think, what about those children in um, government schools? So they've lost their chances of ever learning anything this period. So I don't know what we can do, honestly, but we should just continue what we are doing. Let the children become more independent. Like now, we let them go through the classes by themselves. We just watch and see them. Like my son knows how to use PowerPoint very well now, just because of pandemic. So,
Wow.
and he can play the audio. He's 7, and before now, he had no business with PowerPoint, but now he has PowerPoints that the teachers are sending. So what we're doing is just helping. We can only be strong. We need to be firm, as in super firm, because these children are stronger than us. They know the buttons to press and we'll just melt. So we also need to be very, very strong. If not, they will ride us. If not, they will miss it as well. And that's our job. We need to get back there and settle some of these things. Maybe set time. No, you can't watch. But for people with teenagers, Mr. Justin, sorry, I don't know how to do that one for you, because they have a mind of their own. But at the same time, you can be firm and still say no TV until 4 o'clock. You guys finish up your work, and I need to see what you are doing. Then no tablet until 4 o'clock, no game until 4 o'clock. So let's know the time for school. Even if they manage to do only one, that's the sad part, because they may be scheduled to do 5 and they do 2. We're trying, but we'll keep trying. We should not get tired, because I think most of the thing, I'm getting tired. I won't lie. Because sometimes I tell my son, I beg, when you wake up, come and wake me. Because if you're waiting for me to wake up, I may sleep. Sometimes I sleep late. Like I've been quite busy. I don't, me now, I don't stay idle. So I just woke up different talents that I've dropped. I make face masks now. I do all sorts of things.
Wow, great.
So I just, I've been sleeping a bit late these days. So I wake up a bit late as well. So I begged him, I said, please, when you wake up, wake me up so that we can start school early. Because if we don't start early, we will not finish early, and it will affect your playtime. My man is on top of that game. So when he gets up, he will come to call me. So I think we should get them involved and give them the responsibility of knowing that this thing is here, or this thing is for real. Because they also think my daughter thinks I know when pandemic will end. So she keeps telling me, Mommy, when coronavirus ends? I said, I don't even know when it ends. So every statement starts with, when coronavirus is over, please, can you help me do this? We don't know when it will end. So if there's anything you need, let me know. Let's just start seeing how we can do it. So they need to they need to know the gravity of what we're in, and the fact that this thing can actually last longer than a year if possible. So I don't know. We just need to be strong and mentally there as well.
Yeah, as parents, we need to be strong. As parents, we need to sustain what we have going at the moment. As parents, we just need to keep pushing, because we are the teachers, at home at the moment. We are the motivators. we just I mean we just can't drop any of the balls. You know,
Yeah.
talking about really giving them responsibilities. I think that this is just like you know, like you rightly mentioned, some of them have started developing new skills within this period, and it's been awesome. It's been great. And for me personally, I've actually enjoyed seeing my children being able to try their hands on a couple of things. And what that tells me is that, you know, just like you said, the balls, we have to keep pushing, we have to, you know, we have to keep moving with it. Now, so because this issue, like you all have seen, the ramifications are huge, very huge ramifications, huge breadth, huge length. I mean, it's so wide. We may not be able to exhaust what we are discussing completely today. But before we wind down today's discussion, let me come back to Dr. Justin. Now that you know, from the thoughts Uju dropped on the table, we don't know when this is going to end. So we just need to keep pushing. We just need to keep motivating the young ones. We just need to keep trying whatever we can to, you know, be going. Because like Uju pointed out, what I've learned is that if they can just do a little, like I tell my children that if you can just spend 30 minutes on maths every day, just 30 minutes only, that you're going to be a great mathematician, and they work with that. So it may not be doing so much, you know, just doing a little, keeping the things moving, and then, you know, being able to improve on it. So the future of learning, the future of education, the future of the children is what we're here. Dr. Justin, what do you think that, you know, with all these uncertainties surrounding everything, especially concerning the children's education, their learning, their future, would you have rightly mentioned that we cannot drop the bus, we cannot stop? What additional thought do you want to add, you know, going forward? Because the lockdown may be called off tomorrow. The lockdown may also be called off, okay, even if it's not lockdown per se, but, you know, the stay at home kind of thing. It might also linger for when we don't know how long. Going forward, looking into the future, you know, is there any thoughts that you can add to what you had just dropped in terms of what parents can do?
Okay, just wish to add that for those of us who are privileged to have these facilities for our children, we should be more systematic in following them on with their studies. If it is possible, we can even set up schedules and move beyond the level I said I have been in my family, just taking it as it comes. I'm taking away from these discussions and all that. I'm also going to step up to making it a schedule. So the effect that as everybody wakes up in the morning, there is a time that at which everybody must now wake up, just like they were in school. And then there is a time everybody must have taken breakfast. There's a time everybody should go and sit down for studies. And then by the time we all draw up such schedules and then stick to it as much as possible, even though it may not be as effective as the regular school would have been, but they will not lose everything completely. You know, some time ago I was discussing with somebody who is a bit advanced age than I am. I said he was a little boy during the Civil War, that he never went to school for those number of years, but that today he has covered up for all of those things, that this whole thing will just come and go and life will also normalize. So let's ride on that kind of faith, that no matter the disruptions, no matter these challenges, while we do our very best as parents to keep our children intellectually active, we should also trust in God that ultimately this whole thing will have an end. For every pandemic, every problem, every challenge will always have an end. And then life will either return to normalcy or have an alternative normalcy. And we'll move on from there. But going forward, I also think that if there are skills, parents that have skills they can share with their children.
Yeah.
But not necessarily everything must not just be book now.
Exactly.
This is also time we can deliberately do character building, take specific attention on the life of our children. Also adding that parents that have any skill, it's also time to inculcate those skills on the children deliberately. Like you, for the mothers, this time to teach your children how to cook, how to do some basic chores in the house. This time. It's time for the children to learn to be independent. It's also time for the children to learn their parents, to have some opportunity to talk with them, not just learning and putting them to technology all the time. We should also have the time to talk with them, play with them, see the informal side of them, and see how they can be happy in our presence. Those are ways of building their character and developing them to personhood. I think by the time we do all this, God has been on our side. It will not be totally a story of bad things all through. There will also be good side of this pandemic, that when these children will grow to tell the stories of their life, they will be able to say there was a time in their growing up days when something of this nature happened. They had the opportunity of being with their parents throughout a certain period of time. During those periods, they learned this, they learned that, and that has helped to shape their life and make them who they are today. When such stories are told in future, we would have succeeded as parents. Thank you.
Yeah, sometime in the future, we'd like to have you back because there's a lot to talk about in this area. Yeah, Uju, your closing thought, then we'll wind down for today.
Oh, okay. Closing thoughts, well, more or less like a statement as well. I think what he just said struck a chord because I know a friend of mine who, basically told me that yes, pandemic is a horrible thing, but she's happy to be spending time with her daughter this period because her daughter has learned so much. Her daughter is so mature this period and has learned so much. And I have learned so much about my children as well. At least I know who the politicians are. I know who the strong characters are in my family now. And, there was so much we were missing when we were in the office. There was so much. Now we're spending that time that they were in the school, we were in the office. We're spending all that time with them. It's not just weekend. We're spending all that time with them. We're learning so much about the children. And I'll probably need to add that parents should find time to take their children outside once in a while. Staying indoors because of pandemic, and so we're just scared, and that fear. Let's build some courage in our children. At the same time, this vitamin D is out there waiting for us. So let's, have some outside time as well and engage the children outside. It's not all book like Mr. Justin just said. We need to also build other, aspects of our children, discuss with them, have quality time with them, because once this is over and if you didn't have that time, you wish some people will wish to have this kind of time again, and it comes once in 100 years and nobody wants to see this again. It's only holiday we want to go to in Dubai. So we don't want a pandemic we don't need a pandemic to build character and to build time with our children. But as it is now, it's before us. Let's maximize the time. Let's not focus too much on the sad stories. Let's have time and bond with our children. At the same time, let them get some quality time outside and let them have some hope that this is going to be over soon.
Yes, those are quality thoughts there. Let the children also experience some quality time out there. Let the children use this opportunity and be guided to build on their character. Let the children also be given some hope, be some motivation. Let this period be a period that children can be taught other things beyond just the academics. These are all of the thoughts that has come out of our discussion today. And I'm seriously happy with Dr. Justin and Uju. Two of you have really, really spoken as parents who are also in this situation. We are all in this situation together. And we hope that those that will see this video will be able to have some takeaways from it and be able to also find something they can also take into their own families. It's been a great time talking with you. It's been wonderful.
Right. Thank you so much.
It's really lovely having two of you here. Yeah, so
thank you.
When we call upon you again, we hope you oblige us and come share more with us. Yeah, God bless you and your families. We hope the session will be over very soon so that we can come back and build on the new normal, because we know that the old normal will not be there again. Yeah?
No, it won't be.
And if you are seeing this video, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button and on the notification bell so that you know when new videos are released. And if you're seeing it on other platforms, just follow the channel where you're seeing it. And we'll see you again in the next video. Bye-bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.